for everybody who's catching this on the replay, all thing I've covered so far is my versions of the Kiss album, and I have a real beat up, probably second press that I've showed in my last video of In Our Heads, and this is, I hope to get a better version than this, and this is my 2014 reissue on 180 gram that's still sealed. A lot of my 2014s are all still sealed.
And where did you get those too? Like, did you have a bunch that were probably stolen too?
Yeah, I had a bunch. I've had to redo my whole collection since I started my YouTube channel. I've redone. When I started my YouTube channel, I had no Kiss albums. I had none. I bought all these albums you're about to see. I bought every single one of them in the last 4 years. And this is my copy of You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. This is real rare on vinyl. It's expensive when you do find it, and a lot of times you won't find it sealed. But this is original seal, and this isn't even in the catalog anymore. This has been deleted from the catalog, so I doubt they will ever repress this or re-release it or anything. But yeah, so this is worth well over $100. I paid $100 for it, and it's worth.
How did you get that one? eBay?
I had the guy Dead Wax in Lenore. I walked in one day and I was like, "You got any Kiss?" And he's like, "You know where it's at?" And I went looking around and I looked, and he didn't have in his bins. He didn't have anything that I really wanted. And I just happened to look up on the wall above me, and on the very top shelf, he's got like 3 shelves on the wall, and on the very top shelf, this was sitting up there. And the price isn't on the front. So I was like, "Hey, you mind if I reach up there and get that down?" And he's like, "Sure." And I got it down and I flipped it over and I looked at the back of it and I saw he wanted $100 for it. There's the price right there, $100. I was like, $100. I'm like, "Can you do any better than that?" He's like, "You and I both know that album's worth more than $100. And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Can't blame me for trying though." But yeah, it's got a little bit of a ring. You can see it's got a little bit of a ring thing to it, but other than that, it's in good shape. All right, so we'll move on to Hotter Than Hell. I only have 2 representations of Hotter Than Hell. A lot of the early albums I only have 1 or 2 representations of. This Hotter Than Hell, I'm hoping to get a better copy of, because somebody had put a sticker here, a price thing at one point in time, and it's peeled off to the white under it. And it's not in I paid $12 for this. It's in a white label, or in a white dust sleeve. It's not in the original dust sleeve, but I do believe it is a first press. I've looked it up on Discogs, and I do believe it is a first press. And the album itself is not in bad shape. There's a couple scratches like right here. You can kind of catch them right there. And there's a couple scratches on that side. The album looks like it's been very well played. Not by me. I think I've played it once or twice through just to make sure it was in good shape. Right now, I really don't have a good record set up. So I'm kind of waiting until I have a little bit more room in my house to do it, so I don't play my vinyl a whole lot. So I'm not real happy with this copy, but it's a placeholder for me, but it's in good shape.
The Orgy album.
Yeah, I love the back cover. As a kid, I remember when I got that as a kid. I thought the album cover was so cool. Still do.
I like that. I like the cover, and what I like about it is, there's a couple things I don't quite understand about it. I don't understand why the photos on the back are in color, but yet the photo that's on the front's in black and white, even though they did this photo session in color. You've seen it in color. It just makes the album look older to me. Mm-hmm. And I know that they were going with the whole Japanese, they got the fingers up here kind of holding the album. But I like that the album kind of has a flat look to it, except the silver. The silver kind of has a metallic sheen to it. and it does on the front and on the back too. So I think that's cool. And like my first Kiss album, my second copy is the 2014s. I was going through a phase where I was trying to, while I was looking for originals in the stores, I was collecting the 2014 re-releases. So this is a 2014 on 180 gram. I paid $23.99 for it. And it's sealed because, like I said, while I was looking for the original presses or first presses or second presses or any press from the 70s, I was collecting these. So I have a few of these. All right. Dressed to Kill. I have 3. So this is the Dressed to Kill that I originally got. It's the it is the repress, the 2014, and it's got the they did the 2014s really cool. It's got the emboss on it, like the Kiss is embossed, so you can see it there all the way around it. I paid. Oh no, I didn't pay that for this. That must have been that particular shopping day. I paid $24.99 for this. The receipts for $130. So I must have bought more than one thing that day. But here's that. And I don't know if I picked this up the same day, but this is a 45. And it's Rock and Roll All Night on one side. And
Rock and Roll All Night on the other.
Rock and Roll All Night live on the other side. Yeah. So it's the studio version and the live version.
That was actually released for Alive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I need to put it with Alive then. I kind of keep my 45s with the album, so yeah.
Because the 45 that was released for Dressed to Kill had Getaway on the B-side.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, what I'll do is I'll set that off to the side because I'll put it with the right album.
And another black and white picture.
Another black and white picture. Yeah. But I always thought that the back of this was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, where the makeup.
As a kid, it was really strange looking, and that another great cover. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this cover. I love Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill is one of my favorite Kiss albums, and even though there's not the best, there's the songs on Dress to Kill. I don't think the songs themselves. I don't think on Dress to Kill are as good as on the original album, Harder Than Hell. You know, I mean, you got She, but She was originally written back during the Wicked Lester days anyway. But the sound, the recorded sound and their performances, you could tell that they'd been on the road for a year, or, you know, because they pumped these 3 albums out in a year and a half. Think about that. They put out Kiss. 6 months later, they put out Harder Than Hell. 6 months later, they put out Dressed to Kill. 6 months later, they put out Kiss. I mean, they put out 4 albums, 3 studio albums, and a double live album in like a 2-year period.
Do you know the difference between Dressed to Kill and Hotter Than Hell? Like, who produced the 2?
Well, the band with Neil Bogart produced Dressed to Kill, where the first 2 albums were produced by Richie Wise and
Kenny Kerner.
Because the sound is night and day between Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill.
Yeah, and the sound is very similar, except on the first 2 albums, except Harder Than Hell's muddier because they were going for a heavy metal sound.
Mm-hmm. They
were trying to get a heavier sound, and they got a muddier sound is what they ended up getting. This was produced by basically Kiss and Neil Bogart because they didn't have the money to afford a producer. They couldn't afford one. And according to Paul in his book, that Neil Bogart just basically sat in the control booth and hit record. And Gene and Paul did the rest.
And this one was recorded at Electric Lady.
Right.
Where Hotter Than Hell was done at the Village Recorder out in Los Angeles, which is a famous studio. I mean, it's a great studio, but I think that Electric Lady is where they did all their demos and stuff earlier. I think they were more comfortable probably there when they played.
Yeah.
And the sound was good. The engineer was good, obviously.
It wouldn't have the same character if Gene wore his own pants.
I know.
Yeah. They couldn't afford it. Peter's the only one that had his own suit.
And I love the clogs.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peter has like the lace up shoes on.
Yeah.
And Ace has like the white church shoes on, and The you talk about Electric Lady, and the Eddie Kramer produced Electric Lady demos for Kiss. Those demos sound amazing.
Yeah, I've heard them on YouTube.
They sound amazing. I wish they would have just maybe reworked those a little bit, and I wish they could have got Eddie for their first album. I wasn't really impressed with the Kerner Wise production tree combo. So this one is, I think this was my this was my original placeholder. I paid $8 for it, which if I can get an original album for under $20, and then I kind of gauge it. If it's in crappy shape, I really don't want to pay more than $10 for it. This one, it's got real bad ring wear. It's got some stuff going on here, but it's got an original sleeve. And
I remember that sleeve.
Mhm.
yeah, it's got an original sleeve, and I believe it's a blue label, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, it's what they call a Filmworks. No, it's
that's when I was buying
this the Filmworks label.
When I was buying all those albums as a kid, they all came like that with that sleeve and that label.
Yeah, and so this was my plate. This was the first one that other than the 2014, this was the first one that I bought. And I was like, okay, this will hold place because I want a different version because this has got a spot on it. This actually plays, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not a blue label version of it. So I think I kept looking, and I think I found this one. This one I paid. I don't know how much I paid for this one. It's not on the. It might have been on the. I hate it when you go in places and they have it stuck on the album.
Oh, I know.
But this one,
the cover.
the album cover on this particular copy looks very flat. It doesn't have. It looks like it's got more gloss to it than you got. It's kind of misleading because
Almost
of
like
my
a
light.
fake.
Yeah, but it's got the emboss and everything, and the cover's in better shape. And it's got the original dust sleeve, and is it a blue label? Yeah. So, and this is when I was like, okay, I feel like I've got a pretty good copy for now because this is a blue label, and it's a blue label with no scratches. If you look at it, there's no scratches, and it doesn't look like it's been played a lot. You know how when albums are been played a lot, how they don't have that sheen to it is kind of muted because it looks like it looks like the grooves are worn down a little bit. I think my first Kiss Alive 2 that I ever had, I think I actually wore the album out because just even though it was scratched over a period of time, the needle would jump track because I had worn the grooves down on it so bad. And I was a kid, so I probably didn't change my needle as often as I should have. So I probably was wearing my needle down too. I didn't know about all that stuff till I got a little older that, you change your needle out every so often
Maybe I didn't love you as often as I should have.
Yeah.
See, you're wearing a Fitbit.
Yep. My wife got it for me. I've had it a year. She got it for me last February. This year she got me tiles like for my headset and for my wallet for my keys because I keep losing that stuff all the time. So she got me tiles to be able to keep up with it. And she got me some real nice smelling cologne. She got me some Sauvage, not Johnny Depp, what's his name? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's Johnny Depp.
Depp. Yeah, Johnny Depp. She got the Johnny Depp cologne, and I got her car parts. I got her a module. James, you'll find this intriguing. I got her a module that adjusts her throttle timing. It's got different settings. It's got just a normal where it bypasses it entirely. It's got a comfort level, it's got a economic level, and it's got a what they call a racing level, and then it's got 9 degrees of strength in each one of those.
How is that module installed?
You the module itself is like really small. It's like literally like this big. It's small. It's almost the size of a matchbox.
Oh, I bet it goes
And-
in the computer
and it has
service port.
It has a lightning bolt. It has a lightning charging cable that goes into it, and it goes down to this module that's about this big that goes under your dash.
Okay.
And then that thing has a harness that comes off of it that has a male and female end, and you go up under your dash where the pedal is,
Right.
where the harness plugs into that. You unplug that, plug that harness in between the connector and the pedal, and it intercepts the readings coming from the pedal sensor.
Because under the where the pedals are under the dash, there's a service port where they can plug in and get the diagnostic, right?
Yeah.
So I use that port to plug in a searching locator device, so you can map and see where your car is at all times.
Okay. Well, this wasn't hard to put in, and I've ordered her. Check this out. This is not KISS related, but I'll show you. So I got her rear mufflers deleted, and I ordered the mufflers to replace her mids, and they're supposed to be here Thursday to give it a little more growl. And I ordered these to replace her stock end. I ordered these.
The tailpipe, the dual. Oh yeah. I'm dying to get those.
Yep. So got her 2 of them. Excuse me. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I'm dying to get those because I'm so sick of the vacuum cleaner style.
Yeah. So I got those. Got them off eBay. They're like I want to say right at 9. No, I don't know. I'll send you the link. But they're exactly what my and they're kind of the flat black. They're not the gloss black because my wife wanted to go with the flat black. But they've got them in chrome and they've got them in black, gloss black.
I want chrome because I'm picking up a new Hemi Challenger next week, and it's going to be white with chrome to match the Vanishing Point Challenger.
Oh, really?
So 2022 on the way.
That's awesome for you.
Yeah,
you're getting the 2022. Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. You have to send me some pictures of it. I'm sure my wife would love to see it too. Yeah, I tell her about you, and she's like, "That's the guy that has the Challenger, isn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I'm trading in my Scat Pack. So yeah, I'm just trading the Scat Pack and then getting the Hemi. So yes.
Awesome. That my wife wants a Demon so bad. I told her, I said, "Now we gotta win the lottery before you be getting a Demon."
You can't even use the power anyway in the suburbs.
Yeah. I paid $28 for this from the rhythm section. This is a in my area, a lot of people, they talk about how they don't have any vinyl stores in their area, but there's one that closed, but I've got one called Green Eggs and Jam that's in Morganton. There's the rhythm section that's in Morganton. There is JB's Records in Lenoir, and I got my Paul Stanley album. I'm going to show you a little bit from there. My special Paul Stanley album. I got it from there. I got my Kiss Alive 2 from there. And I got, and then there's Dead Wax that's also in the North. This is the first Alive 2 that I bought, or Alive that I bought. This is the 2014 reissue. Paid $24 for it, which isn't bad. But it's still sealed, of course. I've not opened any of my 2014s. Like I said, I really don't see a reason to open them. I don't just buy albums to listen to them. For the most part, I buy albums to collect them. I only listen to an album if it's opened. This Alive here is let's see. Let's take it out of the bag here.
Well, it looks like an original.
Yeah, this one's an original. It's got a little bit of ring wear. I think this was the second one I bought. It's got some ring wear on it. It's got the middle, the letters. I remember the letters when I was a kid. That was
Yeah,
so cool.
such a brilliant thing to do in there. It really was.
Hmm. Yeah, and you heard the story that Peter didn't write his. Lydia Chris did, or Linda Chris,
Oh, yeah.
or yeah,
I didn't know
she
that.
wrote it. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember there's something about, I haven't read it in years, but isn't there something that Gene wrote about his favorite pastime is pulling hangnails?
No.
Yeah, I haven't read that in years.
Huh. All right. So, and then I've got I think it's real cool that they started putting the books.
Yeah.
This one has the book, and this book has like a weathered, like if I get the right light right on it, you'll see it. And this is why you see that right there, like right in there. It's almost like it looks like it's been pressed down on something. It's like it's all over it though. You can see it. If I catch, there's a real good. You can see it. It's all over it. And so whenever I got this, and I'm like, hey, I got one with the book. Oh, the book kind of sucks. So, but yeah, I love this book though. These such good pictures.
When I was a kid, each one of those were cut up and hanging on the wall in my room when I had that.
Now, it's funny how when you do this, because it's like you have pros and cons and gives and takes. Because I think one of my other ones has a better book. Like the book itself is better. The pages don't have a wrinkled look to them. But I think the staples have come apart in them. So the book itself comes apart. But there's that. Original sleeves. And let's see. Is this? Yeah. So this is a blue label. So this is one of the early ones. It's like on all of these, a lot of times up to a point, the blue labels, what they call the bogey labels, because of bogey there.
Mm-hmm.
These were if you have a version of this and it's the Filmworks label, the tan, then that is a second or a third press or something like that. Because
I think they started printing those around 76. Mm-hmm. So is when, because everything after about middle of 76, after Destroyer, they came with that.
Yeah, I have to go get a refill. I'll be right back.
Okay. And all of these are in relatively good shape. There's a few scratches on this one, but it's in good shape. I'm happy with it. It was, like I said, it was. Usually, if I have more than one of something, and I'm usually continuing to look for something that's better. But I like this here on the other side of the dust sleeve. You see what else?
That's great.
Casablanca is selling. They've got Alive here, Dressed to Kill, Higher Than Hell, Kiss, and then
Buddy Miles.
They've got Buddy Miles, Donna Summer, Parliament, Larry Santos. So yeah, it was funny that that Kiss was on this label that was kind of like a disco label, because I know I have one of their albums, but wasn't the Village People also on Casablanca?
Yeah, they were too. Donna Summer
was. Yeah, so it's funny that Kiss was on this label with all the brothers and the sisters, but that was, Neil Bogart, he was a bubblegum kind of guy, so, but I played. Check this out. The condition this is in, but with the shop where I got it, I paid $10 for this.
Amazing.
So see, sometimes I get good deals. It makes it easier to pay $100 for albums that are worth over $100. This one I paid $10 for also as well. It's $10. I think it's at the same store. I think this is this JB's store. And it's got the book as well, and it's got the original covers in it as well. And this one's even more so wrinkled. Like you would think that I just had the same, that I just pulled out the same album. And this one, it's funny because I don't know. Can you tell that the print in this one looks darker than the one before?
No.
Sort of.
Let me kind of It's easy enough to pull this book back out because I store my albums. I store the books and the albums and everything outside of the cover. Let's see if I can pull this back out of this one.
Yeah, definitely.
See that?
Yeah, big difference.
I mean, it's almost like this is more washed out than that. That's like a deeper. And it's not just where I've got it placed. I mean, it's a different color. Look at the red there versus the red here. I mean, to my eyesight, that looks like cherry red, and that looks orange.
Yeah.
To my eyesight. So it's weird. I just noticed that because I was like, man, that is there's a difference in those.
And I've been in the print industry for a while, and I know there's, there can be slight variations in shades in the print runs.
Yeah. So, and this one is still together. I think the one that is the best copy is the one that has come apart. And I don't know. I went through a phase where every time I found a live and I found it in a good condition, I bought it because I didn't know if there was ever going to be a time that I might want to resell it. I think I might have bought this one because I think the albums themselves in this copy are better than the albums in the copy that I was just showing off. I think the albums themselves are in better shape. And I think the cover of the album in this one is slightly better shape, even though it's still got some rings. I think it's in slightly better shape. And a lot of times I'd be at a store, and honestly, I'd be at a store and I'd be like, do I have a live?
Yeah.
Is my copy home better than this one? Is my copy at home worse than this one? Now this one's kind of cool. This one always gets a kick from people. As soon as I pull this out, you're going to see something really weird. Now check this out. What do you see? You see that gloss?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This album is glossy as it can be. And you flip it over, and I remember when I saw this right up here in this corner, that Prid 3. This is actually, you ever heard of what the Princess collection of Kiss albums?
No.
This is one of them. You look it up. It's called the Princess collection. And so when I open this up, check this out. This is going to be so weird, guys. How weird is that?
Yeah.
So with the new albums.
Yeah. Yeah, this came out, this would have been after Dynasty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you open it up, Kiss Alive, and there's Destroyer and Dynasty in place of Hotter Than Hell and Dress to Kill.
Surprise Revenge is not in there.
And if you see right here, it says it's got its phonogram there, and then it says PRID 3, PRIDC 3 is the and then when you look at the albums, this is actually a Canadian version of this. And I'm trying to see what the year is. I'd have to look it up. It's just got the year that it was released. But it's got the Filmworks label on it. But you can see that it looks very, very different.
How do you know it's the Canadian version?
Let's see. Where did I see it at? Let me look and I'll find it. It says it on here somewhere. I don't think it might not say it on the albums. Let me see. I think
Would you ever buy an album for a great deal if it had those corners cut, the cut corner?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
here's the funny thing. This is one of the things that makes me wonder about this album. if you look at this album, there is no cut corner. Nowhere on this album. No corners are cut. All 4 corners are intact.
Now, why did they cut the corners?
Because for promotional copies, we usually were cut corners.
Oh, I don't think these are cut corners. I just think it's the way the top of the
Yeah.
I think it's the way the top of the dust cover's made. It meant that they were promotional or that they had either been returned.
Mm-hmm.
So they would cut the corner basically if they were going to discount it. That it basically meant if it was bought at a discount. So if somebody was trying to sell it to you for like full price, that cut corner was to be like, hey man, you know, this was bought at a discount. This was bought in the $1 bin, you know.
Yeah.
It might have been online. It might have been online that the Princess this particular PRID 3, or it might have told me, like a lot of times when you put something in Discogs, it'll tell you like if it's an American release, if it's a Canadian release, it'll tell you in that. But now this one has not hardly any like ripples and stuff to it. And I think what it is I think what you're seeing is like people's fingers, like when they're turning the page, your finger might make a place or something. But this one here, you see this one, this is more the orange. So I think the orange is more of the, and see this one, the one that the book's apart. I think the orange is more common than the red. It's something that I never noticed it until tonight that these were, and I paid $30 for this. I think I paid $30 for it, and that's my dude's dead wax. That's his sticker. So it's probably, he knew what he had. He knew that it was not just a normal Alive, that there was something a little different about it.
Do you have many more from the Princess collection?
I think I might have a Dynasty from it.
Is it also like glossy like that?
I don't know. We'll have to get to it. Yeah, we'll see. These are the only 2 originals that I have. This was one that I bought, and I mentioned in a video that this was my version, and there was a viewer that had a better version, and they sent it to me. So I had a viewer send me something. I've had viewers in the beginning. They would send me a lot of stuff. I think over time I've pissed some viewers off because I'm so outspoken about the way things currently are with Kiss, and that it rubs people wrong sometimes. But
the Paul Stanley fans.
It's
my channel, so I can speak my mind.
I never bought this when it came out, even though I remember it. That it was available, but I did have a copy of this. Mine got ruined, and again, it was lost with the rest of my records. So that's expensive to get now.
Yeah, this is a horrible copy. This is one of those ones that I didn't have it, so whenever I saw it, I bought it. I was going to buy this regardless of not regardless of condition, but it was going to have to be in much worse shape than this. It has no extras. It doesn't have the cards. It doesn't have the booklet. It doesn't have the sticker. It doesn't have any of that. But yeah, it's like a binder. You open it up, and it's like a binder, and it's got the albums in it. And the albums are in almost like dust sleeve material type paper.
Didn't the original have the full album cover?
No.
They were just like that. The dust
they were just like this right here. They were just printed on like the dust sleeve had the album printed on it, and so it's and these are, like I said, these are in bad shape. They're all coming apart. They're holding on by a thread. But this one, I bought it. Like I said, I was like, well, here it is. I'm going to buy it. Yeah, see, it's all just that type of paper material, like dust sleeve material. So this one has no booklet or nothing. Just has that on the back, and I paid $15 for it. This is got it at Dead Wax too, and like I said, for $15, he knew that it wasn't in that great of shape, and it was very incomplete. incomplete, missing a lot of things. So the viewer sent me this one, and this one is incomplete, but it has the books. It has the book, and I think it might be in a little better shape internally. Also, if you notice,
it's better quality.
These are glossy. It's like a better quality where mine were flat. But they're still coming apart. Now this is the funny thing. This one's glossy, but this one is flat, and this one is flat. They're flat colors.
Like a matte.
Yeah, like a matte. Yep. And yeah, matte versus glossy. Get a tongue to the printing guy. And but this was, and this thing smelled like, I don't know if it's had stuff spilt all over it. He told me it wasn't in the greatest. You can see it's got water damage. It's wrinkled. It smells like, I don't know. It smells like beer, honestly. It smells like beer, or like it's got beer spilled on it.
Well, now you know it's a true rock and roll album.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's got the Hotel Diplomat on it, and then you open it up and it's just a book, which this was really cool. It's like Kiss 72 to 75. It's got a picture of the band there. I remember seeing that picture. I remember it freaking me out whenever I saw some of the early pictures of Kiss before their makeup had made it to what I saw. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny because you know, here's Kiss at Cadillac High, and it's funny at concerts. You know, here's a picture, and there's somebody holding a Kiss poster. There's somebody holding that you can't see it real well there, but that's a copy of Hotter Than Hell. You can kind of make it out a little bit there, and you open it on up. It's got some buttons. It's got the Hotel Diplomat tickets. Kiss Coventry with Wild Honey, and got pictures.
Oh, from the school.
Yeah,
Michigan
school. Yeah, and on just on the streets, and Ace in his old costume. Got a live shot there. I think that's Harder Than Hell. That Harder Than Hell.
Yeah.
Era. Some posters here. Spring Tour 75. Yeah, cool book. Kiss on the back. This is 1976 copyright. So that'll be my placeholder until I can find something better. I eventually want to have the one that has the cards and the sticker. There's one that's got a card, and it's got the book, the cards, and the sticker. And I've seen one that had the cards that did not have the sticker, and the cards were not together. They were taken apart. I saw it one time, and I didn't bite on it because I remember thinking that was ridiculous. The price was ridiculous. I don't remember what it was, but I remember thinking it was ridiculous for what it was. Hold on a second. Let me stick this with my. I'll stick this 45 with my live.
This makes me want to start my collection again because I had all the albums up to Animalize, and then they all just disappeared from me moving from place to place.
Yeah.
But I don't have a record player.
All right. I think this is the album that I have the most copies of, if I'm not mistaken. My wife cannot figure out what my fetish is with this album. But I have a lot of copies of it. And I tell her it was my first Kiss album. And so I just have a soft spot for Destroyer. Just, even though I'm not a fan of every song on the album, there's not a song that I hate on this album, but I just have a soft spot for it. Because it was, every time I see the cover of this album, I go back to being a kid, seeing this album in the record store, and not in the record store, but in the drugstore record rack at Eckerd's Drugs. I've talked about it on my channel, and my grandma bought it for me. And I thought it was one of those albums of the superheroes where, you play the album, and there's a book that you read, and I kind of read along to it, and it kind of starts off that way. I remember thinking, well, where's the comic book? And I thought, well, I don't know. I was a kid. I was 8. But I got this. This single was $3. And this is, of course, it's Detroit Rock City with Beth on the other side. And this is the actual, is this the A side? Yes, this is after they originally released this as Detroit Rock City on the A side and Beth on the B side. And after Beth took off, they repressed it again with Beth on the A side and Detroit Rock City on the B side. Because right here it says stereo MB863-863-A. And then and that's Detroit Rock, or that's Beth. And you flip it over and it says MB863-863/B. So that's Detroit Rock City. So this is the re-release.
Yeah.
After Beth blew up. Let's see. It kind of struck me odd that Kiss put a booklet in Alive, and then did not really do anything special for Destroyer. This is the first Destroyer that I bought. I think my 2014 is here somewhere, but I think I actually got this before I got to 2014 because I kind of keep them in order of purchase, kind of in a way, except for the first ones because I knew that I had them first, so I kind of like putting the first albums, the original first. But I think when it came to Destroyer, I got lucky and I got this original first, and it's not in great shape. It's got some really bad wrinkles here. It's got some staining on the actual writing of the word of the band.
Would that be the first year that the Kiss Army logo came out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out loud, Kiss Army. And then on the back, it's got the words to
I love
City.
Yeah, I loved how it had the words to Detroit Rock City on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then down at the bottom, it's got really big get up. Everybody's going to move their feet. Get down. Everybody's going to leave their seat. Let's see. Is this? Everything like you said. So yeah, this is a blue label. Before they started pressing them in the film works. So I think that's why this one's kind of near and dear to me because this is it's got a scratch on the record label there, but it's not. The album itself is in really good shape, but this is probably a first press of this album. And I think as I go on through the collection that I'm going to show, I think I have some of the FilmWorks labels as well. I think maybe this very next one, if I've got these in order. Like I said, I don't know why. It's just really weird that I've kept these. I always take them out and put them back kind of in the same order. So so here's another one. You can easily see that this cover is hands down in better shape. No wrinkles, the spine's not messed up. It's in really good shape. The back's in great shape. The back's not wrinkled. Nothing's wrong with the back of it. And it's got the internal, or it's got the sleeve. And let's see. Yeah, this is a blue label as well. So I think I bought this one because I'm like, man, that's a blue label, and it's in better shape than my other one. The album was in better shape,
And where you get that one from?
I don't know. I have to see if I see a sticker.
So I'm always curious whether you got some of these from a record store or online.
I can tell you the ones I got online. I haven't bought many albums online, and when we get to them, I'll tell you what they are. The ones that I bought online. It's not any of these. all of these have been record store finds so far.
And would you remember which ones were from a garage sale?
I'm not bought any of my albums at a garage sale.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. I haven't been successful finding albums garage sales around here.
Yeah.
All right, so this is my 2014. So like I said, I try to collect 2014, and so far I've gotten up to Destroyer on So there's that. I paid $22 for that from. Don't know where I got that. Got it from a store though. Let's see. This is Destroyer Limited Edition. This is it doesn't have it on it out here anywhere. I did buy this online. This is the blood splatter version, and I hate that they don't have a hype sticker on it nowhere. But this is the blood splatter version. I know because it's got the sticker there that says limited edition, but it doesn't really say anywhere on it what it is. But I just remember that it is the blood splatter version, and it's sealed too.
What does that mean, blood splatter version?
It's colored vinyl. It's orange, and the base is orange, and the splatter is the pellet. The red is red. So it's like if you could think of a press of a color vinyl, it's mostly orange with red splattered through it. Yeah. I don't know why this is stuck in here. This is Kiss Destroyer Resurrected.
Yeah, I was waiting for the Resurrected.
Yeah. So this is Resurrected, and I think it's just Resurrected. I don't think it's colored. And this is Shout It Out Loud.
Sweet Pain on the back.
I was getting ready to say, and what's on the back? It's got Sweet Pain on the back.
Smart guy.
I remember that one. I remember that's one of the reasons I like Sweet Pain so much, because it was at 45. I remember.
Yeah. And I always like when you get an album and you get some kind of cryptic message on it or something like that. And I've never been able to figure this out. I know that I got this 45 at Dead Wax, but it's got written on it February 23rd, 12/1, June 14th, 12/1, December 26th, 8/9, and June 28th, 12/1. I mean, I don't know what that means.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. I'm gonna put this with one of my originals. I'm gonna put this with one of the other originals here. I don't have a place to really keep 45s, so I usually keep 45s with my albums.
That's the thing about the Resurrected. It looks like they're floating in the air compared to the other one.
Yeah. This is a Walmart exclusive. I think I got this past Christmas. It's orange vinyl. Bought at Walmart.
Something that's interesting about that cover that I just read in that in the new box set that I didn't know about it. When they did, that's the original cover that they did before they redid the painting. And the record company actually rejected that cover because it was depicting them as destroying the town.
Right.
Where they wanted the artist to redo it, so they're standing on a mountaintop overlooking a town that's been destroyed, rather than them being the ones that destroyed it. I never heard that before until recently.
It still looks like they destroyed it, even though they're standing on the rocks.
I know.
That's what I always thought.
I know.
And they say destroy. I think I've said this before. This is not the first time you guys heard me say this. I think this album should have been called Flaming Youth. I like the title Destroyer, but I think it should have been called Flaming Youth. Flaming Youth is a great song on this album. Mm-hmm. And I think it would have been cool if they would have tied in the name of the album with the song that's on the album. That's just me, though. I like
similar
the title
to Revenge. There's no Revenge song.
Right.
Or Rock and Roll Over.
Or Just the Tale.
This
Or
next
Analyze.
copy.
Or Dynasty.
Yeah, Dynasty was originally supposed to be called Asylum.
Oh, I didn't know
And then
that.
they changed it. Yeah, it's supposed to be called Asylum, and that's why they took all the pictures in straitjackets.
That's right.
Oh,
And then they
yes,
said they
right.
didn't feel like it was very kid friendly, so they renamed it Dynasty since Kiss had built such a dynasty. That was a Howard Marks idea, and they colored the on the poster they colored in and colored it in black and said, oh, they used it as you can't see what Kiss's new costumes are until we reveal them. This is one that I bought online because I've got the sticker in here. And this is, I bought this along with, one of those destroyers I did get offline. I got this with, check this out. I got this with not Love Gun, Vintage Kiss Destroyer album LP, Rock and Roll Over, and Alive 2. So I got these 3 albums off Etsy, of all places. Etsy. For $10 each, for a total of $32. Wow. These 3 albums. So one of those albums that I just showed you, plus this one. And this one I think is cool because this album originally belonged to Chris Odom because he's got his name right here. Chris Odom originally owned this album. No. I got Love Gun. Alive 2 wasn't part of that. It was Love Gun, and I'll show you why I know it was Love Gun in a minute. But I love this album cover. God, this is probably
maybe the best album cover.
God, it's I argue it just might be. I mean, I know I love Live 2, but I love Alive 2, but basically because of the inside. But this album, it's just got all the just got all the cool colors.
And the cool thing behind each one of them.
Yeah.
I love the title of it, Rock and Roll Over. And this is the first record I bought when I went out and bought when it came out new. And it's still my favorite Kiss record, I think. But you're right, that cover's great.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see it, but look right here.
The tear.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the tear misprint. So this is a tear misprint that I got offline, but from somebody who didn't know what they have for $10.
That's a good deal.
And how perfect is that tongue in the middle too?
Oh yeah, the tongue going down in the middle is just awesome. And I love that they replicated it on the back and just put the credits around it. I love that they did that. That's awesome.
Do you know much about that tear misprint?
It's not a whole lot. It's actually a RC. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's actually a record. It's a record club misprint. See right there, RCA. RCA
so it was
Music.
like one of the so it was one of the RCA music clubs that had that, huh?
So this is a record club, and all the tear prints are the RCA record clubs. And you being a printer, what they say is that was stuff that was stuck on the blue that was stuck on the one of the reels.
Oh,
had blue stuck on it where it wasn't supposed to be. But dude, if you look at it, I mean, I'm telling you, I know it's going to blur out, but dude, it's like,
looks like it's meant to be there.
It looks like it's meant to be. I mean, if it's an accident, it's a perfect accident.
Yeah. It's not like the tear is in the middle of his nose.
Right. And it's consistently in the same place every time, which I know that's no big deal because if it's something that's stuck on the roller, it would be that way. So you got Chris Odom, he wrote his name on his albums, and that was a thing. Usually if you was going to a party and you took your albums with you.
And that label looks different than the regular one, I think, too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm most familiar with that label.
But the printing looks a little different.
Yeah, the printing looks a little weird.
Yeah.
I've got a really cool Love Gun I'm going to show you guys in just a little bit. But yeah, the printing looks a little weird on that one. Because the way these are done is all the stuff you see in the background was actually screen printed on the label, and then they would then print the Kiss and everything that made this side different from this side.
Right.
Yeah.
They would print that on there.
Yeah.
And I basically bought this one because I knew it was the teardrop. I mean, the album is not in the greatest shape. The dust sleeve is not in the greatest shape. But I knew when I saw it, I knew that it was a teardrop album or teardrop version. And so that's basically why I bought it, because I knew I had to have it. Like Gene with Christine 16, I got to have you. I knew I've got to have you. All right. I think I have 4 rock and roll overs. I'm a big fan of rock and roll over too. It's got one of my favorite Kiss.
I always like to set my record up. I would turn it the other way so that Ace and Peter would be on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but the actual correct way, well, you really can't tell. Well, no, yeah, the spine puts it that way.
Gene and Paul at the top.
Gene and Paul at the top, of course. Here is another copy of it.
Interesting. You flip it over, and Peter and Ace are on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that they did that.
Yeah.
You know. All right, now this is a complete. It's got the merch form. The first album to have a merch form in it.
Nice.
Belt buckle and everything.
Yeah, and it's got Destroyer poster there, and it's got the Kiss on Tour book. It's got the posters down here, the 2 belt buckles. You could get the belt buckles for $5. And then on the back, Kiss questionnaire.
Kiss Army.
Kiss Army and the Kiss questionnaire. They want to know. They want to know about you. They want to know the demographic. So yeah, it's funny how they did that. And then the sticker that's intact. That's a prized possession right there. Yeah. I love that.
Because my original copy that I bought when I was a kid, I ruined that by putting that on my notebook at school.
Yeah. And this isn't just one big sticker. It comes apart in many pieces. Like each person is a piece. You can kind of see, and look how the eyes do. Mm-hmm. But each person's a piece. Yeah, the eyes glow. Each person's a piece, and the ring is a piece, and then this outside is a piece.
That's a great sticker.
Yeah, that's an original sticker. I'm proud of that. Anytime I have a merch form and stuff like that, I'm proud. Now the dust sleeve.
Those dust sleeves did not hold up well. Those original ones.
And then if you look at the print on this, it looks different. Print on that looks different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The actual print itself is different. Yeah, the dust sleeves, they're just such flimsy paper, really and they just didn't hold up well. And I think I got this one from Dead Wax. I can tell by he uses these real small pricing stickers that he puts on. The cool thing I like about him is all his albums are, if they're vintage albums like this and they're worth a lot of money or they're worth money, he always has them in plastic sleeves. And so see, he knew what he had with this one. This one cost me $30. But
still a great deal.
Still, yeah. To get the intact sticker and the merch sheet for $30, yeah. Heck yeah, I bought that.
And where does he get them, I wonder?
I don't know where he gets them. 2014. So that's the 2014. I think this is one of the first 2014s that I bought. But it's still sealed.
Could you help educate me on this 2014 thing? That's when they re-released all.
They re-released. It was when the Kisteria box came out. When the Kisteria box came out, they basically printed up all these, and they sold some of them individually. And some albums that they pressed in 180, they put only in the Kisteria box. And so
they have all the original posters and stickers and all the stuff.
Like, yeah, if we were to open this up, it would have the sticker and stuff like that in it. I don't think they have the merch forms, but I know if they had.
It doesn't have the merch forms because I have some of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if it had a sticker or a poster or like tattoos, like Alive 2 does, it has all that stuff in it.
Or the Love Gun.
Yeah. Yes. They're like pretty faithful recreations, except for the merch forms.
Right.
And they're printed on 180 grams, so they're heavy. These albums, just holding them, they're heavier than like the originals. They're heavier albums. And so that's anytime I say a 2014, that's what I'm talking about. It's that whole series of that. This is, I think this is a 2014 as well, but it's a limited edition color and it's orange. It doesn't say what color it is, but it's orange.
I have that one. It's orange. Mine's orange.
Yeah, so it's orange version of it, but it's still the 2014 pressing. It's 180 grams, and it has everything. It would have the sticker and stuff like that in it, wouldn't it? Does it have the sticker?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I know some of these do and some of these don't. So, but all right. So now let's see.
One thing about that Rock and Roll Over, did they use the same artist for?
No, it's a different guy that did that. Then the same artist did Love Gun
Sonic
and
Boom.
Destroyer.
Sonic Boom.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah, same guy did Sonic Boom.
But the Sonic Boom album is terrible.
Yeah,
you can't.
But they had a lot of input from bad input from the band, so
probably.
5 copies of Love Gun. I think this ties Destroyer, but I have such a soft. This is probably my second favorite Kiss album, as far as maybe not content of the songs, but when I say album, I'm talking like this, like the album, the packaging and everything. This is probably in my top 3. Probably Destroyer, Love Gun, and Alive 2 are probably my 3 favorites. But this right here is just so iconic.
Yeah.
I can still remember the day, that summer of '77, when me and my friend got this, and we coming up the street, and we got that. And just imagine you get that and you're seeing them in their new costumes for the first time. And that album, when that first came out, you're right. It's a really cool moment, memorable moment when that came out.
Yeah, and this is my favorite era. All the photos and stuff that came out during this and the Alive 2 era, these costumes, this to me is like Kiss perfection. They were at their height. They were at their zenith, their pinnacle. To me, it's like everything about these costumes is right. Ace's costume, he truly looks like a spaceman. Paul looks like that striking lead front. Gene looks like a literal demon chained into his costume, his chains holding him in. And Peter with the
you gotta make
the
it
boleros.
there,
Yeah. It's just, it's just awesome. The girls down front.
That's the things that hold the bullets, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The things that holds the bullets. Yeah. Of course, that's what Peter would have. But these, it's funny. It's interesting story about the Love Gun. These are all
the same girl.
It's King Kelly's wife. And it's funny when you see the pictures of that he took his wife, he took pictures of his wife in all these positions and basically just repainted her in. And people talk about like the floating head back here and stuff. He didn't have quite. The story I've heard is he didn't have time to finish. So where he didn't have time to finish, he kind of painted in smoke, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
because I'd say like the amount of time it took to paint that would be several hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I ever like won the lottery, and I told my wife this, and she thinks I'm crazy. If I won the lottery and I won like an obscene, ungodly amount of money, like 400, I think the lottery here recently was up to like over $700 million, and you would have walked away if you would have took the cash, and then after taxes, you'd have walked away with like $450 million. I would find who owned the original painting of this, and I'd be like, "How much? How much do you want for it?" I want it on my wall in my mansion. I want this. I want this.
I wonder how big the original is.
It's pretty big. The original is pretty big from what I've seen in pictures. It's pretty big. It's probably maybe 4 foot by 4 foot, or at least 3 by 3. I mean, it's pretty big. It's pretty sizable.
And back to the last album, I like how they put it on the stage on the unplugged stage.
Oh yeah, that was real cool.
The Rock and Roll Over album cover.
I used to just look at the detail of this album. I used to just lay on my floor and just put my face as close to this as I could and just look at the detail that's in it.
And I like the back too. I like the back with the columns. And
yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah. So this is the first copy of this that I bought. I got lucky. I was at Dead Wax. I was at Dead Wax. He wanted $40 for it, and it's got the love gun taken out of the cardboard, but it's got the love gun with the bang attached, and it's got extra bangs. And I've asked other people, did your album have extra bangs in it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, I've got 2 extra bangs somehow. But it's also got the thing that the gun got popped out of. And it's even got the little thing that went into where the one of the triggers was. And he even had it in the front of it, has the gun. But I love the back with the columns. And but man, this right here, I remember whenever I got this album and I pulled that out and I saw that kiss in blood on the marble. That's just amazing right there. So
that's different because it doesn't have them on it.
Yep. That's the one thing that I noticed about this album is that it doesn't have them on it. And I did some research, and there is not when this was put out, there is not and this isn't a reprint, this is like an original. From everything that I can tell about it, I did quite a bit of research on this. And I talked to somebody, and they told me that the only thing that they can think of is that they probably, at some point in time when they were, because the number here is a first press number. And they said that the only thing that they can think of is that at some point in time when they were pressing, that they ran out of the album, the labels that had them printed on it, screen printed on it. So they just grabbed stock Casablanca Filmworks labels and printed the Love Gun text on it. Because I'll show you all the other ones I have. This isn't a record club collection or anything like that. It's like that on both sides. So that is very unique. I'll show you in some of the other ones that I have.
I got a used copy one time of Love Gun I used to have, and it didn't have the gun in it, but it had a picture, like an 8x10 picture. Remember that picture around that time where the bicentennial year where they had like Peter had the drum and the bandages and all that? I had one that came one time with a picture of that in it.
Yep, the Spirit of '76 photo. Yeah.
Obviously, somebody put it in there, and it got it used that way.
All right, here's my other Love Gun. This is the other one I got from Etsy because this also belonged to Chris Odom. So he put his name on it right there on the cover.
Chris was here.
Yep, Chris was here. So this one I paid $26 for. This came off of Etsy also. I think it's from the same woman. But it's I think this might have been the first one I bought, because I don't think I would have bought this one if I had one that had the gun in it. And this is one. I don't know if you notice it, but it doesn't look quite as vibrant as the other one.
I noticed
But
that.
but if you see this, I know why I bought this one because it's RCA.
Yeah.
It's a variant. It's an RCA Music Club version. So Chris apparently got his albums from RCA.
It never paid for him, probably.
I never paid for them. But yeah, so see, this is what this album typically looks like. And Kiss, they're screen printed on there. And I think this is cool that this is the album that they kind of started doing that with. You know, they did it on the solo albums too. But they're actually the screen printed on there with the rest of the film work stuff and everything. And then you have all the words that's the names of the songs that's printed on there. Like I said, I think I bought this just simply because it was a RCA variant, and I used to be at some point in time. I was a little more into collecting the variants and looking for any little difference in the album and collecting an album that was different in some way, shape, or form than others. And I can't say that I'm really into that as much now. I don't know. I might say that I won't buy a variant if I see it, but it's not. Back then, it was like, man, that was my thing. That's what I was doing. Here's another original, and you're gonna like this. This one is Bang Bang, and this one's Bang, and the gun is intact. Still in the cardboard entirely. Never been popped.
Pop the cherry.
And I bought this. I'm going to put this here. I bought this at if it's the one I'm thinking about, there's a indoor flea market near my house. It's called the Cowboys Flea Market. And let me see if this is it. Let's see. Yep, 80s. The guy wanted $80 for it. And I talked him down to 70. I talked him 10 bucks off of it. And I knew what I had. But I was also looking at the fact that the cover has some bends in the corners. Right there, you can see some of them. And the dust sleeve has some. And that's what I reasoned with him about. I'm like, yeah, dude, you have the gun, but the rest of the album's not in perfect shape. So I'm like, I've got an album that's in great shape. I'd just rather buy the gun from you for like 20 bucks and call it a day. And he's like, no, it's sold as it, in its entirety. And I'm like, well, come on, man. How about giving me 10 bucks off of it? He's like, sure, man, I'll do it. So I could probably sell this and get my money back or more, especially with heck, I could probably sell the gun online for 50 bucks. The intact. I could probably put this on eBay for $50 and sell it, overnight. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah,
that's another source for some lucky finds is flea markets.
Yeah, I've gotten. There's probably a few of these that came from flea markets that I can't remember, especially if they don't have a price on them. Flea markets are usually pretty notorious. The people kind of price them by the individual. Like if somebody comes walking up and they I don't really like to walk in and act like I'm a Kiss collector, because if I'm a Kiss collector and they catch that and they have something that's not priced,
take advantage, right?
Yeah, then they'll be like, oh, that's they for the normal person, they might have wanted 30 bucks for it. For me, they're going to try to charge me 80 or whatever.
I'll be right back.
Okay. This is this 2014. Just another one of the 2014s. It has the gun in there.
Where do you buy all these 2014s? The same place?
These came from the rhythm section. No, I was just getting them in random places. But most of the time, these 2014s, I did get them in the stores. So, but they came from different locations. Some of them come from. One time I was in Greensboro, which is about 2 hours, 2.5, almost 3 hours from me, and I went in there and all the Kiss albums they had, everything that they had was the 2014 reissues. And I think that might have been the day that I spent like $130. That one receipt inside that one, that might have been one when I bought, 3, 4, 5 albums.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you had your cold for?
God, it's been a month. It's been like a month, and it's not COVID. It's just
and you did a test and everything, right?
Yeah. It's just they said I have a head cold that's draining into my throat, and so it gets down around my voice box and tickles, and so I cough.
Mm-hmm.
And
my wife had COVID, and I never got it.
Yeah, everybody in my family's had it, except for me.
She was coughing nonstop for 2 weeks.
Yeah. See.
I'm back.
All right, cool. All I did was I was just we was kind of hanging out, waiting on you. I was just showing him I've got this 2014 version as well.
Yeah.
I've
seen that one too.
And I don't know why I did. I think I did this as part of a live feed, but this is one of mine that I don't usually open. But this is this is one of the Walmart exclusives that is the Tangerine Aqua Splatter, and I did open it because I don't think I'd ever opened any of my albums like this, and this one does not have the gun. It doesn't have anything in it. The Walmart exclusives usually don't. But I just wanted to open it up and just see it, because there's so many of my other ones that I haven't opened. So I decided to open this one. And, and after opening it, I'm like, I could have kept it closed because, it's okay. It's just tangerine with a little bit of aqua with a little bit of blue splatter in there. Nothing really spectacular, but it's thick as crap. I mean, an album don't even hardly wobble.
And you haven't played that?
No, I haven't played it. No, like I said, I've got one of those old, like it. My vinyl player is actually my wife's. It's one of those like Crosley type deals that does the albums and the CDs and the cassettes. And I want to get something a little better, but honestly, I don't have the room, so I'm just kind of holding until I get more room to actually do something a little better. All right. This is the only version of Kiss Alive 2 that I have. I think
that one's harder to find these days. It seems like it's expensive to get.
Yeah. There's only 2 other versions of Kiss Alive 2 that I would like to have. Because this one to me is pretty much perfect. It's everything that I want. And the only other version I'd like to have of this is I'd like to have the 2014 version. Keep it sealed. I'd like to have that. I've not gotten it yet. And I would like to have and I'd like to have the misprint.
Yeah.
I'd like to have the misprint that's got Take Me on it and, Hooligan. It's just on the cover itself. It's not actually on the album. But this one, when I start taking it apart and everything, you'll see why it's perfection. The cover is in amazing shape. I mean, it's got a little up here, but I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful on the back. It's beautiful on the inside.
Use a marker on the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful on the inside. The albums are in great shape.
Never seen that sleeve before.
Oh yeah, that's the one that came with it.
Yeah, this sleeve that came with it.
I had that album like back in the 70s, and it came with like white sleeves.
Really?
Yeah. Must be a Canadian thing.
Mine be Canadian thing.
Because mine definitely came with those.
Yeah. I remember. This is the album cover I remember. I remember this album cover very well. It's got the book.
And I love this Evolution of Kiss was great. This is a great book.
Yeah, this is a really good book.
I did have that book.
I love this picture. That was the picture that was on the trash can, although it was reversed. But yeah, like they've got 73, 74,
I used to have that. When I was a kid, I had the poster of that one from 73, that top one.
This one?
With the knife. Yeah, when Peter had the knife. I had a good sized poster of that in my room back.
Yeah, this was like a red background.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this right here, man, this is just
great. It's great.
This is just so good. Just such good stuff here.
That's a great shot too.
Yeah. I love this picture of Ace. It's one of my favorites. Good picture of Peter. That's the picture that's on the front of his these are actually the pictures that's on the front of their the Halloween costumes.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think Paul's is, but I know that's on the cover. That's on the front of Gene's Halloween costume, the part that you wore on your chest, and that Ace and Peter's is. I don't think Paul's. I think Paul's is something else. But yeah, and it's got the the evolution of Kiss. Kiss is born. Kiss becomes opening act. So yeah, it's got that. And then it's got the merch form come with it. See that a little better there. I had those posters. I had so much off of this because my mom, this was right after I became a Kiss fan. This album, I became a Kiss fan in August of 1977, right after Elvis died. And this came out in October. Yeah. So this came out like a couple months after I become a Kiss fan. So I had this. Yeah, had the Kiss radio. I had this big poster. I had the yellow shirt. I didn't have this Kiss belt buckle. I had this one. This one here is quite hard to find. I think Rick from It's All For You Demon has one of those. And but yeah, merch. Got the merch form there.
My beers are going down too fast. I have to get one more.
I never did order anything from those things when I was a kid for some reason. I wanted to, but never did order anything off those.
Yeah. I think my mom was real good to me. My mom would see stuff. She'd look at the albums and she would see the merch forms and she'd be like, what you want out of here? And of course, I would circle. I would circle and say I wanted everything, and she'd be like, "Well, you got to pick. You got to.
Yeah.
You want this. You want this." And I always wanted posters and shirts. And this is the last thing I held this to. You got back, James. It's the tattoos.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, the cool. Tattoos.
Yep. These are original tattoos. I look at these things. I hold these things, and I'm like, man, it's hard to believe that the what I'm holding in my hand is 45 years old.
It is hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, yeah. We ruined ours, and we used them.
Oh, yeah. I did too.
I used mine, yeah.
Yeah. I the chances of that, I mean, it sold millions and everything, but just Kiss made a lot of, the reason why Kiss stuff is like so expensive is because a lot of it, especially the merch, it wasn't made to be kept.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't designed to be kept. It was designed to be used and played with until it broke, and then you threw it away.
Yeah.
All right. Double platinum. I found this at a record store in Asheville called I can't think of the name of it, but this was a very pleasant surprise because I just happened to be we just happened to be walking down. Asheville's like the king of the brewery capital USA on the East Coast. There's like 100 breweries in Asheville, and it's about an hour west of me in the mountains. And it's where App State is, and Appalachian State is there, and Biltmore House is there. So I was just in a record store, and I was just scrolling through, and I was going through the Ks, and this was the only K that I saw. This was double platinum. And so I'll show you a little bit about this. I was very pleasantly surprised. I paid $15 for this, guys. $15.
Amazing.
Nice.
That is shiny.
Yeah, it's Mylar. I mean, you can literally see my reflection in it.
Now, Brant, did you buy this when it first came out?
Yes.
Dynasty, the double platinum?
Yeah, I had it when it first came out.
See, I did not. I never bought double platinum when it first came out because I had all those. I had all the songs on record.
Yeah.
So I never bought it.
This is like embossed of the guys' faces. Mm-hmm. It's embossed on there.
I remember buying it at the time and being a little disappointed that it was same old songs.
Yeah.
Well, I never bought it at the time.
Except for Strutter.
Yeah, at the time I had a friend that played me the Strutter 78. But I was like going, well, hell, I have all these songs. I have all the records, so I don't need this. And it was years later, I got it on a CD, and I realized that these were different mixes of the song.
Mm-hmm.
They're different mixes.
Yes.
Yeah, they're different mixes.
And I didn't know that until years later.
Yeah. They're not exactly the same. They're different mix.
Right.
So it's got the 2 albums. It's got the merch form. Now remember, I paid $15 for this. It's got the merch form.
Wow.
With the the mirror the Mylar posters. God, those things go for so much right now.
I've never even seen those.
The Mylar poster. This is a Mylar. It's like all this stuff the posters were Mylar. They got regular posters here, but these posters here and this poster here of the band were Mylar posters.
I bet those are hard to find.
Yeah. And
do you recall any kind of merch where there is like silver discs with their faces on, like in the double platinum inner sleeve? Because I had like 4 discs of their faces. Anyone remember that?
I don't remember.
No?
I don't remember that kind of merch.
I wish I kept that one.
I was really surprised when I opened this album and saw this.
That is nice. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. The certificate. Yeah. It kind of blew my mind whenever
that could be framed, actually.
Yeah. And I saw the merch form and the certificate. Copyright 1978, Coin Management.
I would frame that one.
Yeah. So it's very, very that was a good find. And then whenever I flipped it over and looked on the back and saw that they wanted $15 for it,
wow.
I was like sold. I'll take that off your hands. Sometimes I get lucky, man. Sometimes I go into a store and, sometimes you go into, like I said, I go to my guy at Dead Wax when I know that I'm possibly wanting to look for something really cool. But I know if he does have something really cool, that he's done his research and he knows what he's got. A lot of times, man, it's like these you go into a lot of these places and they've got their albums priced at, about what they would have any other album priced at. They don't realize that right now Kiss stuff is just ridiculous. Now this is a cool double platinum. This is one of the recent re-releases, and it's the German version.
Oh yeah.
And it's not quite Mylar. I mean, you notice it's not nowhere near as shiny. It's just a silver, kind of like a shiny silver. It's not embossed or nothing like that. And I've not opened it. It's still sealed. But yeah, I don't have no intention of opening it. But it's got the track listing here because
Mhm.
That's what the original had. I would like to find an original. Sometimes you'll see originals that aren't opened, and they got that there because that's the only way you knew what was on it. Because the track listings isn't anywhere on it. So, all right. Goodness. Coughing up a lung. Goodness, man. Whenever I had to keep muting myself whenever we were recording the other day because they got me laughing so much. God, that video. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen
I watched
episode
it, yeah.
5?
I was watching part of it. I didn't see the whole thing,
Oh, dude,
but I was watching when you're picking your favorite songs.
I was.
And the trivia.
The trivia was really easy, but then it got pretty tough.
Yeah. What we're thinking about doing is we're really considering next month. Next month is our episode 6. It's the final episode of the first season, and because we wanted to do 2 seasons a year, and we thought about taking a break, but then we're like, well, man, we'd be taking a break in the middle of the summer or just at the beginning of summer, and that we didn't want to break during the summer. So I was like, we may miss a month here and there because people get real busy during the summer like they do at Christmas. But I was like, I want to keep it going. So what we're thinking about doing for the 6th episode is do like a live call in, like put the link out where people can come in like you guys are here and bring people on one at a time and put them up against one of us, and one of us ask a question and then even maybe that the person that calls in can try to stump us and try to have a trivia question. So that's something I'm going to put a post.
So how many Kiss songs in the lyric just talk about having 16-year-old girls?
How many Kiss songs? Aside from Christine 16.
Well, including that.
Well, I know of 2.
Yeah, the third one is, I think there's 3, but I could be wrong. There could be something else I'm missing, but Christine 16, Going Blind is what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
And then Room Service is the one nobody will get, probably.
Room Service is the one nobody will get.
Sweet 16, Looking Hot and Mean.
Sweet 16, Looking Hot and Mean. Yep. Yep. Because whenever you said it, I heard the lyric in my head. I'm 93, you're 16.
Yeah.
Yep. That'd be a good question. I wouldn't be able to answer it now because I know the answer.
But I may be wrong on 3 though, because there could be something in the 80s or 90s that I'm missing too. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
I see her dad standing. What's he say about the dad?
Yeah,
getting mad.
Getting mad
all the time. He knows that I'm in need of room service.
Yeah, I see her dad getting mad when all the time he knows that I'm in need of room service.
Perfect lyrics for nowadays.
Yeah.
All right, solo albums. I'm kind of lean on the solo albums. Solo albums, believe it or not, for there to be millions and millions and millions that got returned and corner cut, these things are hard to find in good shape.
Right.
Good shape.
Yeah. I had to really hunt for them myself.
In good shape. All right. So here's my Paul. This is the first Paul that I bought. I got it at Wax. I got it at Dead Wax. And check this out. What makes this Paul special? Can you see?
Nope. Something about there.
Look at this one compared to this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right.
Huh.
This one is what's called the V-neck. This is the V-neck. So this one is the first one I bought, and it took me a long time to find it. But after I found it, I'm like, I'm going to have to find another one because it didn't cut corners don't bother me because a lot of these things are cut corners. But it's got a really bad wrinkle in the corner. right here. It's got 2 bad wrinkles in the corner. I found this one. I don't think I actually found this one at Dead Wax. I think I found this one at Green Eggs and Jam, and I paid like I paid $20 for it, and price tags on it. Can't see that, but it says $20. It has, the reason why I bought it, even with that bad wrinkle, it has the merch form in it.
That's nice.
It's got the merch form, and it had the dust sleeve with the solo albums on, which I think is awesome. It's a good that's a good dust sleeve right there to do like that.
I think the Paul Stanley or the solo album I got of his that I bought in the 80s, or early 80s, had a plastic dust sleeve.
Yeah. So I love that they put their picture on there.
Yeah.
Goodbye is my favorite song on that album. Many people may not agree with that.
I like that one too. I've always liked that one.
I remember Goodbye freaking me out. And I think that the story I've heard about Goodbye is he wrote it at a local deli on his lunch. And it was like one of the last songs he wrote for the album because he was a song short and he needed one more song. So he wrote Goodbye. And this came with the poster. Poster in great shape. This is Paul's the first in the mural because he don't have any keys over here. He's flat on this side, but he's got the square and the triangle on this side. And you can tell by the flames down here that he's going to be going into Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to be going into Gene. One of these days, I've got all the posters that I want to. I want to get a custom frame built and put these all together.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me put this up. So yeah, I got this, and it was one of those where I had looked for Paul for so long, and I had everybody telling me to, I had everybody every time I'd go in somebody's store, I'd be like, hey man, if you get any solo albums in, if you get Paul's in or get anybody's in, to let me know. And I think I'd already bought Aces, Peters, and Jeans, believe it or not. And the last one that I could not find was Paul's. So, I mean, you can see right here who I've got next, but I could not find it. And so right after I found Paul's, I went to Greensboro. I went to a store, and I walked in, and here is the 2014 Paul Stanley. So I bought it. So I had the 2014, and Paul's is the only one I have the 2014 of. I don't have the 2014 of Ace, Gene, or Peter. His is the only one I have the 2014 of.
And sealed?
Sealed. Yep, sealed. And so then a friend of mine just happened to be in Greensboro. Or no. Did I say I went to Greensboro? No,
yes.
I didn't go to Greensboro. A friend of mine went. I found that somewhere. Might have been Rhythm Section or something like that. But a friend of mine went to Greensboro because this is Hippo Records, which is in Greensboro. And he bought it for me, and it is the German version. It was $29.99. It's the German version, and this is the Back to Black series. You see right there, it says Back to Black. And it says includes a voucher and download of the MP3 version of the album, 180 gram weight, heavyweight vinyl, www.backtoblackvinyl.com. So this was the Back to Black version of the album.
Ace,
and then,
sorry.
And then I've got the single "Hold Me, Touch Me," and it apparently had it was some point in time been in a jukebox.
Yeah, I see that. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
With "Goodbye" as the B-side, huh?
"Goodbye" is the B-side. Yeah. And I got that for $3 or $5. So, yep, Goodbye's the B-side.
Whether or not Ace says that the logo is just lightning bolts, whether or not it's him actually, you know how he appreciates and loves the Nazi German uniforms. Maybe it's just maybe a psychological subconscious thing that he designed the S that way.
Well, you know, and I've heard that story. I've heard that too. But the other thing that I heard was that the way that, and I heard this story recently, and see, Jesse, see if you've heard this story. A lot of times the stories I've heard, you've heard. The way that the KISS logo with the double lightning bolts actually came to be was the fact that the Wicked Lester used to have some of the versions of the logo on early posters had the S in it, in the S in Lester was a lightning bolt. It was shaped like it was shaped like that. It was the like that. And that Ace came up with the KISS logo by writing KI and then writing over one of the lightning bolts in Wicked Lester and putting another S behind it. So KISS.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the idea of using the lightning bolts for the S's came from. Now that's what I heard.
Yeah, I never heard that. That's
never heard that one.
And I've looked for a poster online or anything like that of Wicked Lester's logo with a lightning bolt in it, and I've never been able to find one, so I don't know. There's two versions. I've got like I said, I've got the V-neck of Paul, and I've got the V-neck of Paul. The Paul that I have is the V-neck. I would like to have an original Paul that doesn't have the V-neck, that's complete. I would like to have an original of Aces that has the purple on the back. You know, you've seen those where instead of the blue on the back of Ace's album, it's purple.
Oh, really? I didn't
yeah, there's some out there like that. I'd like to have that, and I'd like to have the 2014 version of Ace's album. But this is a pretty good shape, and you notice. Check this out: no cut corners on Aces. Ace is one of the albums. Ace's solo albums is one of the least cut corners because his album actually sold the most. Not many people. Mm-hmm. His album didn't make it to many bargain bins. I'm not saying that there's not cut corners out there, but I think my Gene and my Peter both are cut corners.
Peter for sure.
Peter and Gene a lot. You saw a lot of
bargain bins.
So yeah, but this has a merch form in it. Merch form is in pretty decent shape. Said the fact that the merch form exists. The poster is in great shape. It's never been hung up. No pinholes, no tape, no wrinkles. Never been on a wall. The Ace is the final because Ace doesn't have any on this side. He's straight. And then you can tell by the roses here that we're going into Peter. He's got a circle here and a kind of like a square rectangle down here. Peter and Ace, if you notice, I don't know if you'll notice, we didn't really note it, but Ace is the only poster that only has 3 representations of him on it. All the other band members have 4. But Aces only has 3.
When I saw the roses, I would think Paul.
Yep. Yeah, but it's Peter because Peter gave out roses when he sang Beth.
Right.
I would think roses too. And then Ace's album. It's in good shape. It plays good. Sounds good. The solo albums, I have a love for all 4 of the solo albums. There is not
Me too.
There is not one solo album that I don't like. And I think it all depends, to me, it all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to listen to. Here's what I do find, though. I find that if I'm in the mood to listen to Ace's album, I can listen to Paul's album too. But if I'm not in the mood to listen to Ace's album or Paul's album, I can listen to Gene's album or Peter's album. Gene and Peter's album kind of falls in the same vibe for me, and Paul's and Ace's albums kind of fall in the same vibe for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
What is your favorite Peter solo song?
Well, I
Probably.
like quite a few of them.
I
like quite
Tossing
a
and Turning.
I like quite a few of them. I like a lot of Peter's. I'll tell you whenever I get to his album. I'll have to look at some of the back of his album. Gene's solo album here. I've got a single here. Gene's album is cut, bottom corner, cut down here. Gene's album, other than that, is in really great shape. It's still got the good gloss to it. Gene's album's in really great shape. I remember my Gene album. I had went to right after I got the solo albums. We got the solo albums the day they came out. My mom went down and bought them, and I had the bag that they went in. And we recently had went to Cherokee, and I took a Cherokee, North Carolina. It's an Indian reservation. And I took a Cherokee bumper sticker, and I stuck it right here along the bottom part of this album, covering this bottom part. I don't know why. But I just think it's funny that Gene's album has all this writing on the back of it, down here at the bottom, because he had
all the guest
all
stars.
the people that he had on his album, But yeah, here's the single. It's Radioactive on one side and See You in Your Dreams on the other. Gene's album is in great shape. It looks like it's hardly been played. Look at that. It looks stellar. Looks brand new. Probably didn't get played too much. Somebody probably bought it and wasn't a fan. Merch forms. Like I said, you find merch forms and posters, man. It's almost like you've struck gold. Here's Gene's poster. Paul, coming from Paul on one side and then going into Peter, you see a little bit of a drum there. Going into Peter, and you see he's got 4 representations of himself. And Paul's the same way, and we'll see that Peter's the same way when we get to his album. We'll see that Peter's the same way. My favorite song, let's see, we're talking about favorite songs. My favorite song off of Gene's album is probably, I like a lot of his weird stuff like See You Tonight.
I do too.
I like See You Tonight the most.
Always Near You, Nowhere to Hide is good. Man of a Thousand Faces. Mr. Make Believe's great.
Yep. I like the whole thing.
I'm one of those weird people that like See You in Your Dreams off of this album better than I do the what's it on, Rock and Roll Over? Is that what it on?
I prefer it on Rock and Roll Over, probably because I heard that first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the, I think Gene embellished a little with the background singers. They all embellished a little bit too much with the background singers on their solo albums. All of them did. Even Ace. Ace had a lot of.
Did you say See You in Your Dreams is your first number one song? Or See You Tonight?
See You Tonight's my number one on that. Probably Man of a Thousand Faces, honestly. Or Mr. Make Believe. I love Mr. Make Believe.
Yeah,
Mr. Make Believe is a good song.
When I got the Gene album, because I bought the Gene album when it came out, because my friend taught me into it. He got the Ace record, and I was more of an Ace fan at the time.
Right.
And I remember when I first got it and brought it home, I actually felt like I got kind of was disappointed in it, because I wanted Aces, because my friend had Aces, and I'm going, that's a better album. But I gotta say, I've really grown to like Gene's album. I think it's a great album.
Snowblind and Ozone, probably 2 of my favorite songs off of Ace's album. I love those two songs. Those are
Yeah,
rockers.
I think Snowblind's my favorite. Yeah, and Ozone.
Rip It Out is my favorite, actually.
That's good too.
Off Paul's album, Take Me Away Together is hands down my favorite song on his album. I love it. It's so epic. Peter's album, I actually have a picture disc of Peter's album. I bought this at the rhythm section also. And it's never been opened. But
I can't stop the rain's my favorite song on this record.
Yeah, I Can't Stop the Rain was my favorite song for the longest time, but then
Easy Thing is great. Easy Thing, don't you let me down.
Don't Let Me Down is
great.
Yeah, Don't You Let Me Down. I'm Gonna Love You is a great song. Tossing and Turning, I love Tossing and Turning.
I think he did a great job on Tossing and Turning. I think he did a great vocal on that.
Yeah.
Don't You Let Me Down's good. Easy Thing is great.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to Out of Control much?
Yeah, I did. I bought Out of Control when it came out.
I actually just ordered Out of Control and the one that came out, was it Gonna Rock You, his 2 solo albums?
Yeah.
You can buy them on vinyl right now, on color vinyls right now.
Yeah, is that Tom Shannon, Rockologist?
I just ordered them the other day.
Yeah, I'm going to get those too. Tom Shannon's a great guy. I've been trying to get him on my channel for a long time. We've talked. Me and him are Facebook friends, and we've talked back and forward. And I've been trying to get him for the longest time.
But I never owned those. I've never owned those records, and I figured I saw that, and I ordered them right away.
So Peter's album. My album that I have by him is like jeans. It's cut corner, but if you look at it, the cover is it's an immaculate shape. I mean, look at this. Look at the spine of this thing. It's it's immaculate. And Peter's album was the only album to have this. It had this big credit thing. Because he would have had more credits than the Back of Jeans album. So it's like they included all this and I understand that this was like because of a dispute that him and Stan Pendridge was having and Sean Delaney was having, was that they wanted to be sure that they got credited for the songs on his album. But yeah, Peter's dust sleeve is flawless. His album is like Gene's album. His album is flawless. No scratches. Looks like it's not hardly ever been played.
That cut corner is a big cut.
Yeah, it's a big cut on this one. Yeah, you can tell. It's like you line the cuts up. You can tell. And this, you don't see it on this because this is actually a little smaller than the actual album itself. It's not big. I'm just happy that they didn't get a cut with the poster. Yeah, that'd been a sucky thing to cut the poster. But yeah, so there's Peter's, and you see he's got 4 representations of him too. But Ace only, like I said, I've always thought that it was weird that Ace only has 3. And Peter, Gene, and Paul have 4. And then the merch form for this too. And I like, even with the merch forms, they went with the colors and everything. They were establishing, they were going to establish those colors for each band member.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't just do it on the album cover. They carried it through in all the material. And I like that they tied the album all together because they could have just on the dust cover, they could have done something like another picture of the front or something like that. But no, they included all 4 of them.
To get you to buy all of them.
Yeah, they really marketed it. It was just a brilliant...
it was brilliant marketing. I mean,
Howard
Marks was... Brilliant.
And how many other bands could have actually released 4 solo albums besides the Beatles? No, there's none.
Right. I mean,
maybe
you're
Beatles.
Exactly right.
The Beatles could.
Yeah.
But other than that, who else would have done that?
And not only did they do it, but it was a concerted effort that they all came out on the same day.
Yeah.
And they originally pressed the same numbers of everybody's.
Can't think of anyone else that could have done that.
No.
All right. Getting near the end of the era. Dynasty, hands down, one of my favorite Kiss albums. A lot of people, they hate Dynasty. I freaking love Dynasty. There's not really, huh?
I don't hate it. No,
I like it too. I kind of checked out of Kiss for a little bit around this time. So
yeah,
I really do like the record a lot.
I got this copy that I'm showing you. I'm going to show first. I got this copy for $10. I got it at Dead Wax, and let's see. Oh, here's a 45. It's got on side A, it's got "I Was Made for Loving You," and on side B, it's got "Hard Times." Tell me Ace hadn't made an impact.
Yeah,
you know, he was the B side on the first single, not Gene. Although I think Gene has some great songs on here. The only song I really don't care for from Gene on here is I don't really care for X-Ray Eyes. I know a lot of people like that song. I don't really.
But it's probably the weakest song on the record, probably.
But he's got some soulful lyrics on it. Just the way
I think it's still good, but it's probably the weakest song on the record.
I love this label. That to me, man, that, you know, of all the custom labels that they did in the middle, this is probably my favorite, followed by the Elder with that hand. Yeah. But I love that, dude, with the white and
I love the poster.
Yeah, the poster and the little Casablanca label, just they're classy at the bottom, and the Kiss is that reflective silver. Man, that is just
perfect.
That's just so awesome.
That sleeve though, I wasn't so big on that.
Yeah, the sleeve is definitely very 70s vibe.
And continuing the colors.
Yep, continuing the colors. And I heard something about the design of this. Like there was a certain amount of money that the design of that cost. I can't remember. I've known so much about Kiss over the years, but like this, from what I understand, this was not cheap. This was not cheap, something cheap that was done. It could be done cheaply these days, modern days. It could have been done for nothing. You could have an app that could do it for you automatically. But back in the day in 79, and Dynasty has a special place in my heart because Dynasty was the first tour that I saw. I was 10 years old.
That's great.
I went to the Dynasty, went on the Dynasty tour. So I got that for $10. It does not have the poster in it. But it's, other than that, it's a great representation of the album.
Well, you got to see Peter at least.
Yeah. I did. Peter was at that show. I don't have a copy of the poster that I can show because the only other copy of Dynasty that I have is the 2014. And this has the poster in it, but I've never opened it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to open it just to get the poster. I'm just going to keep looking for Dynasty. I've actually looked to purchase the poster offline, but I'm just going to hold out to see if I can actually find a copy of Dynasty, regardless of condition, with a decent poster in it. But I love this cover because the Kiss is in your face with their imperfect makeup and all. You know, Gene's. I mean, look at this. This is the cover of your album. Look at Gene's makeup. Look how off kilter his bottom wings are at his nose. One's real close, one's real far away. Yeah. Look at Peter's makeup. Look how off kilter. Look how low this one is compared to that one. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Ace's and Paul's makeup is just perfect. Ace's makeup is good. It's a good even spacing. They're equal across, but Gene and Paul, it's like, man, what the crap? Like I don't understand that. But they're right there in your face. And I've got two. Got two singles. I've got sure. I don't know why I keep these over here. I think it's just because I've got three from here. I've got Sure Know Something and Dirty Living. Dirty Living is a great song.
Yeah, great.
I Was Made for Loving You and Hard Times. So I've got two copies of those somehow.
Every time my wife gives me a massage, I tell her she's got the magic touch.
Um, Charisma's good. Dirty Living's good. Hard Times is good. I Was Made for Loving You is good. Magic Touch is good. Save Your Love is good. Sure Know Something's good. 2000 Man's hands down my favorite song off the album. X-Ray Eyes, like I said, it's the weakest.
Yeah,
But Charisma makes up for it. Charisma is badass. That's a modern chic demon song. It's a demon bad guy song. I love Charisma. It's awesome.
You know, I have the 8-track for Dynasty. Did you know that 2000 Man opened the album on that?
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And I love the solo.
Let me see here.
This is the
so on the 8-track it goes 2000 Man, Magic Touch, Dirty Livin', Hard Times, Save Your Love, Part 1, then Save Your Love Part 2, then Charisma,
DRB,
and then X-Ray Eyes Part 1, X-Ray Eyes Part 2, and I Was Made for Loving You, and the Sure Know Something is the last song.
Huh.
Isn't that kind of cool how like the 8 tracks were like totally different because of the way they had to space them for the program?
They had to space them. They had to space them a certain way to make them work.
Yeah. But how often do you think Gene and Paul would have liked to have Ace opening the record on the 8-track?
No, but they probably couldn't. I mean, you know, like I said, they have to. They try to make those with as little as continuation songs as possible.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes they have to do it. I remember on the 8-track of Kiss Alive 2, I remember there was a part 1 and a conclusion track to Calling Dr. Love.
Really?
Because where it faded out and faded back in was, after they're in the second chorus, and it's before they go into the solo where he says, I got the cure you're thinking of, and Peter starts doing that, da, 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 and he's like, yeah, and, da, 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 and then they go back into They Call Me. During that whole part where Peter's doing that drumming thing and Gene's going, yeah, they fade out and then flips and fades back in. It's like the way they did it was cool because I remember the way they did it was where it started to fade out. When it flipped to the next track, where it started to fade out is where they started it fading in. So it's like the last thing you heard before it flipped tracks was the first thing you heard whenever it flipped to the other track. And like I said, that was smack dab in the middle of that part in Calling Dr. Love on Alive 2. That fade out and fade back in. I always think about that whenever I hear because they did that same thing with I Love It Loud on Creatures, where they fade out, them going that, yeah, and they fade out, and then you hear it, they almost get faded out, and then you hear them come back.
Yeah. Perfect break track.
Yeah. So, this is the Max 45 long version of I Was Made for Loving You and Hard Times. So, it's...
How much longer is that version? It's like a dance mix or something like that?
I don't think this is the dance mix version. I think that's another version that I don't have. Let me look here on the album and see how long these songs originally are. Because I know there's like there's one version out there that's like a 15-minute version. I Was Made for Loving You. It says it's 4 minutes and 29 seconds. And 4 minutes and 29 seconds is what it is on the album. Hard Times, it says it's 3:29. And 3:29 is what it is on the album. So let me look on the album itself. Because right here on the front, it says it's maxi long version 45. Version, Let's see what the albums say.
Wardrobe change.
Wardrobe
change.
Wardrobe change. Yeah, I like this though. It's made in Germany. It's It's got the German logo. I was digging German logo stuff before Rick was. He kind of got into it. We were talking about it a lot. No, man, I don't understand. But man,
Same.
these grooves are far apart. But it says it's only 4 minutes and 29 seconds. But look at that. It's a full album, 45.
Yeah.
But look how
seen
long
those
that
before.
song is on there.
I mean, it's got a lot of bottom end probably to it.
It might. Yeah.
What
Doesn't
song
it
is that?
Hard Times and I Was Made for Loving You. And it says it's an extended song. And you see that it fills up a good part of this LP. You can see there. But according to the time, they're not any longer. They're not any longer than the tracks on the album.
I've only heard an extended version of Dirty Living.
I don't think I've ever listened to this. I don't think I've ever listened to it. I think it's one of the things that I bought, and I bought it to have it because I had never seen it before, and it was $20, and I was like, okay, I got it at Dead Wax, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it.
Dead Wax is a good source for you.
It has been. It really has been. You know, he's been good to me. Man, one time I went in there and I had a bunch of stuff. I got my Kiss box set that I have up there that I've done videos, songs from, and I need to do some more. I got Radioactive that I recorded like last April. Like I recorded it almost a year ago, the demo for Radioactive, and I'm not edited it and released it yet. I need to do that. But I need to get back on that. But I got my box set from there, and he had, one time I went in there, he had the Kiss Destroyer poster, and he had, not the poster, but the puzzle, and he had the On Tour board game. And there was albums I wanted a little more, but man, I didn't have enough money to buy everything in there. But I should have, because I came back like next week and they were gone. Unmasked, this is the only copy of Unmasked I have. It is the 2014. It's the only copy that I have. So I'd like to have the original 1980 version, but this is all I've got.
Now that came with a poster too, right?
Yeah.
It did. It came with this right here. It was this. It was this poster.
Yeah.
The Elder. It's the only copy I've got.
When you guys were picking your like top 5, what was it? Top 5 Kiss songs?
Kiss,
did anyone pick any Elder song?
Top 5 love songs.
Was that what your top 5 picks were?
Love. They were top 5 love songs.
Okay.
Yeah. They're the top 5 Valentine's Day love songs.
Top 5. Okay. Since it was Valentine's, we did love songs. And I love AJ's.
The Elder's not a real Valentine's Day album.
Yeah. Like I said, I love that center, that hand.
Yeah.
Now is that the original sequence they released, or is that the pre-release sequence?
It starts with the Oath.
Okay. That's the one I had when I first bought it.
Yep. It's not the re-release. It's the way that they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is the original version, but I don't know what happened to the dust sleeve.
Yeah,
this is not
because it's a plastic one with writing.
It's a plastic dust sleeve, right? This is not the original. I still want to get it with the original dust sleeve, but I remember when the Elder came out, and I didn't hate the Elder. I was a nerd when I was a kid, so I was into Tolkien and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So, this to me was almost like it was a little bit ahead of its time. It was pre Lord of the Rings and at least the movies and stuff.
I kind of like this sequence of it actually. Basically because it's probably what I first heard. Yeah,
but if you look at the back has
the original one, or the what's supposed to be?
Fanfare, Just a Boy, Odyssey, Only You, Under the Rose, Dark Light, World Without Heroes, The Oath, Mr. Blackwell, and I. So the back does not do the same sequence as the album.
I see. So
yeah.
How does that part go? You have been summoned here to offer your what's the next part? You have been summoned here to offer your opinion of the boy or something.
Yeah.
He's got the light in his eyes.
The look of a champion.
Now Now I've been trying to get this album. This one's hard to find too right now.
Yeah. This is the 2014. Like I said, if I couldn't find the original album as a placeholder, I've at least tried to find the 2014 re-release. And this,
now, do you care about the other reprint with Bruce Kulick?
I used to have that. I had that version.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
I'm not a fan of it.
I had that version back then in the 80s.
I had it too.
But I would like to. This is one album I don't have on vinyl, and I would like to get this version of it. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can find it, but it's expensive.
Yeah. Yep. I bought this for $31 at the rhythm section. So this is the place that's downtown. I do good at the rhythm section and Dead Wax. There's a lot. Most of my albums I've gotten from there.
It's like they're lying right to our face, but we don't mind, like lying to us about putting Ace on the cover.
I don't care.
Well, he was on the cover. He was in the video. He was on the singles.
Well, he was contractual still.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have a whole trunk out in the garage of a bunch of Circus and Hit Parader magazines, and I ran across one of them where they were even talking about Ace being on tour, and he was taking a little break, and he'll be back on tour with them soon and everything. Like, they were really still trying to sell it to where he wasn't going anywhere, but he did.
Because they knew that sales were already low for the concerts, and they needed some way to attract some fans. And there's the album that's been in track versus track for the past 5 weeks.
Right. All right. So, yeah. So this is my Lick It Up. Let's see. I've got some singles here. I've got Lick It Up. On the back, it's got Not for the Innocent on the back of it. Then All Hell's Breaking Loose with Young and Wasted on the back of it.
Nice.
I like that they put the lyrics on the album.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the first time they put lyrics.
I think so. And I'm not a fan of these Mercury labels. I've said it before in the past. I think the Mercury labels are boring, and it's like, it's almost like I don't see why Kiss couldn't have kept doing what they were doing, even though they didn't have the makeup on anymore. People were still buying posters of bands and stuff and putting posters of bands on their walls, even with no makeup on. Kiss could have done some things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know they still had made singles for that era.
Yeah, and I don't have a 2014 version of that. Asylum. No, not Asylum yet. Animalize. I don't have a 2014 version of this. This is the only thing that I've got. Got the album with them superimposed on the back. They're not all there together. They're not standing over that fire and all that danger, from what I understand. That's just the story I've heard. Got the album, lyrics, picture on the back.
So the Kiss, the Lick It Up album doesn't have the Kiss logo on the album, on the vinyl.
No, just Mercury label.
Yeah, this one does.
Yeah, it had it said Kiss on it. Lick It Up didn't have Kiss on it?
No.
Huh.
Oh, can you see this?
It does barely.
No, it's not going to work because I have the stupid.
It does barely. It's real small right there.
What is that?
It's hard to see, but
is it the Stevie Nicks album?
No, it's Eric Carr with Peter Criss. It's a great photo I've never seen before. I saw it today.
Huh.
Sorry, you can't see it.
All right. Asylum. And these albums, it's just they were basically. It's almost like they were, copy, rinse, wash, repeat. When it gets to the album, it's like they took the makeup off, and I don't know what happened. They just quit. It's almost like the part of them quit being Kiss, and they started being, but they still could have, like I said, they still could have. The albums almost started being like.
If you notice there, they tried to. They had the green lipstick on Eric Carr and blue for Bruce Kulick. That's kind of odd, would you say?
Yeah, that is kind of weird. They put the purple and red on Gene and Paul, so I guess they had to do that with them. Crazy Nights, sealed. It's the only version I have of it, and it's sealed.
Yeah. That might be best.
I like that.
I didn't at the time. That was one album when I bought it. I bought it when it first came out, and I remember not being too fond of it all. But it's actually, it's okay.
I told Brad that my top played Kiss song from last year on Spotify was "Reason to Live."
Yeah, that's a good song, I think.
I don't even remember playing it that much, but that's what
there's some songs on there that are good, but I think there's more of it that I don't like.
Trying to see that I don't have Hot in the Shade. I was trying to see if I have Hot in the Shade on CD, and I don't. I don't think I have Hot in the Shade. Live 3, and it's sealed. It's the 180 gram, 2014. It's heavy because it's a double album. Alive 2, sealed. And Revenge, I don't have on album. I have it on CD. Carnival of Souls, 2014, sealed. Kiss, Psycho Circus, 2014.
Nice design.
Now, does that have the change in there? Because the CD had like the 3D effect on it. That does on the album too.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's sealed still. 2014 reissue. It's not the original. Then Rocks Vegas.
They open with Creatures of the Night in that show, right?
Detroit Rock City, Creatures of the Night, Psycho Circus, Parasite, War Machine. Yeah. So it's sealed. And Monster, sealed. I don't have Sonic Boom on vinyl. I have it on CD.
And you don't have Kiss Symphony.
I don't. I have Kiss Symphony on DVD.
I have the DVD as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or same with the Unplugged. I have the video for it. I had the video, and
I have Unplugged on. I have Unplugged on CD. Let's see my CDs. Let's see what I have. There's Revenge. I have Destroyer on CD. I have the 45th anniversary on CD. I have Love Gun on CD. Ace on CD. Unplugged on CD. Sonic Boom. Greatest Kiss, which on vinyl, this is insanely rare and insanely expensive. There's You Wanted the Best. You got the best. You see, you can get it for $6 on CD. Ain't no big deal on CD.
And Smashes Thrashes, I bet.
No, I don't have Smashes Thrashes. I got Kiss My Ass.
I have that, yeah. I've never owned Smashes and Trashes before.
And an 8-track
CD.
8-track, I've got Destroyer. and
I got Destroyer on 8-track.
and Alive, and then there's Symphony.
Kids don't even know what CDs are these days.
Let's see. And then this is the last thing I did to finish my collection was the Kiss World. And I only bought this because I finally saw the red splatter with red splatter with yellow. Red with yellow splatter vinyl. And I was like, well, it's a color vinyl, so I'll buy it. So I
Never heard of that one.
Kiss World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the greatest hits.
That's just basically the greatest hits. And it's weird because it's got all of them. It's got those guys on the cover of it. On the back, it's got
No song.
like
Does it have
this.
any songs from their era?
It's got Crazy Crazy Nights, Rock and Roll All Night, I Was Made for Loving You, God Gave Rock and Roll to You, Detroit Rock City, Beth, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, Tears Are Falling, Unholy, Hard Luck Woman, Psycho Circus, Shout Out Loud, Calling Dr. Love, Christine, 16, Love Gun, Shandy, I'm a Legend Tonight, Modern Day Delilah, and Hell or Hallelujah. So it's got two songs.
Right.
The last two songs on side D
I see.
are that. So, all right, guys. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. And I'll catch you in the next one.
And hope you get better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see
All
you
right,
guys.
guys.
All right, take
Yep.
care.
Have a good night.
All right, see you. All right, bye.